Hey, it's Ken from shop3d.ca. Welcome back to another webinar. This time for August, we have a part of our product line which we get lots of questions about, and that of course is 3D scanning. Now we're going to be introducing two scanners. One is going to be our entry-level scanner, the Einstar, and the other is going to be our HX scanner from a professional lineup. These are both scanners from our vendor Shining 3D, and we love these scanners. And we're going to be talking about some interesting applications. We're going to be talking about digital archiving, reverse engineering, and possibly even inspection for these scanners. So let's let my team get down to showing you what these scanners can do for you.
Hi, I'm Michael from Shop3D, and today we have two of Shining 3D's handheld 3D scanners, the Einstar and the Einscan HX. Both of these scanners connect to your computer in order to scan objects, creating a 3D model that you can then use for reverse engineering, measurements, modeling, or any number of other applications. Starting with the Einstar, this scanner specializes in portability. It's able to scan people or objects, even outdoors, where the bright sunlight might cause other scanners to have a hard time. It uses infrared light and a pair of cameras in order to scan objects and a color camera so you can scan objects in full color. This is really great when the color of an object is just as important as its geometry, such as if you're scanning a toy or figure, a painted vase, or even a person. The next model we have here is the Einscan HX. This scanner is more advanced than the Einstar and uses 4 cameras along with either hybrid blue LED light or blue lasers, depending on which of the two modes you select: rapid scan mode or laser scan mode. In laser scan mode, blue LED crosses are able to scan objects accurately with an accuracy of up to 0.04 millimeters. These lasers are class 1 lasers, meaning they're eye safe so that you don't need to wear any protective eyewear. The big advantage of these lasers, aside from the accuracy, is that the scanner is less sensitive to ambient light, meaning it's easier to scan objects which have reflective or dark colored surfaces. Rapid scan mode is the other scanning mode and uses blue LED light in order to scan objects. As its name implies, it's able to scan objects much more quickly thanks to being able to capture a larger proportion of the object all at once. In addition, it has a color camera so that it's able to scan objects in color, much like the Einstar. You don't sacrifice too much in the way of accuracy either, as it's still able to scan objects with an accuracy of up to 0.05 millimeters. In general, you'll want to use laser scan mode for objects whose dimensional accuracy really matters, or for objects with dark or reflective surfaces. You'll want to use rapid scan mode for larger objects, or objects whose color data you really want to capture as well. I hope that's given you a good look at some of the 3D scanners that Shining 3D has to offer. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at michael@shop3d.ca, and I'd be happy to help. Next, we have Pooja with a scanning demonstration.
Hi, I'm Pooja from Shop3D. Today I'm going to be presenting the demo on the Shining 3D Einstar scanner. So let's get into it. So I have the Einstar here. So I'm going to tell you what all it comes with. It comes with the calibration plate. It has a data cable as well as an adapter. So you can see I have been already plugged in to the scanner. So once it has been plugged in, we'll come to the software part. So once you see in the software in the devices mode, here you see it's been already connected because I have been already plugged in, and you can also see the blue laser lines that it shows it's been connected. So once it's been connected, the next step is the calibration process. So calibration, each Einstar has its own calibration plate. So it will come in this velvet pouch. So you need to take it out, place it down. And this step is very easy. The Einstar software shows how to do the calibration step by step. So I'm going to go into the calibration. First, it says we need to do it with the markers. So I'm going to place exactly how it shows on the software. So it says first start with this orientation straight. So you need to move closer and to the far. So once it is done, it shows the next angle that we need to do. So it's asking to tilt 30 degree towards this side. So once you know that you are in that position, you can just press again the center button from the Einstar and just move away. And similarly to the other side. So it is pretty easy. You need to just move it around. So this calibration is recommended to do every 2 months, and you will hear this noise if you are not in that region. So yeah, so every 2 months we need to do the calibration, and if you change the environment from, like, if you are outside and coming back to some studio or your office, then you need to change, you need to do the calibration every time the scanner changes its environment. So once it's done on this side of the plate, it will ask to do on the white plate. So we're just going to turn it. So here it shows the calibration succeeded on one part, and we need to do the white balance. Again, take it straight, press the center button, okay. So once it's done, then we come to the scanning. So here we have to start the scanning project. So once the calibration is done, make sure you keep it back into the pouch. And back into the box. Make sure you keep it very neat and tidy. If there is any scratches and marks on the calibration, it will affect your accuracy as well. So today I'm gonna scanning this shoe. So it has a pretty good features. So I'm gonna show you like how I select the modes for the scanning, and then you will then we'll go from it. So I'm here in the scanning, so I'm just creating a project. So here you will see the scan modes. One is the portrait. So the Einstar is mainly for 2 applications. Either you can do it for the human scanning, the complete whole body scanning or the bust, or you can do the object scanning like this. So as this is a shoe, so I'm gonna not go into the portrait mode, I'm gonna go into the object mode. Here we can select the object size. So this is like medium to the larger one, so I'm going to select this one. If it is very smaller, like around 200 cubic mm, then we will take the small object. So this is medium to large object. Then for the mode of alignment, I'm going to talk a little bit of the alignment in very simple way. So the features, if the model or the object has a very sharp features, so this alignment mode plays very important role when you are doing the alignment mode, when you are doing the mesh generation. So this, as you can see, it already has a lot of features, but it also looks very symmetry. So if you see only this part, if you see from this side, this and this is very symmetry, as well as here. So here we see the features. So I'm going to take the mark as a features, and also I'm using the turntable as a to rotate, because this would be very good alignment. So alignment mode also depends like how you do it and how we can quickly do it. And markers, and there is a textures. So if you need if you're scanning human, then you need their color, the dress, and that you can help in reverse engineering for the color verification. That will help you. And here, if you also want the object with the color, then you can check mark the texture as well. So I'm going to mark the markers and the textures as well. So hybrid is the one which includes the features and markers, but I'm going to tick mark everything because I want to take the color as well. So here next comes the resolution. So Einstar can go up till the resolution of 0.2 mm. You can see here, but for today demo I'm going to just go ahead with the 0.5 mm resolution. Just click the confirm button. So here you see the scan preview window. From here the camera window, once I play press the center button, you will see what the actual scanner visible of. Then we have the scanner mode. Here is the brightness. Brightness is the if it's the scanner brightness. So if there is anything very much lighter that it is not able to take, or it is very dark object, then we can change the scanner brightness. Then you see the working distance. So working distance is the one which you are working with the scanner to the object. So I am in the range of 160 to 400. So this is the range where I can go up till like 400 from the object and the scanner. So we can go up till 600 if you are scanning bigger object or the human scanning. Then there is a texture mapping, plane detections, data indicator. I would recommend for this kind of object, just keep it as it is. Okay, so let's start the scanning now. So we are in preview mode. So I'm just checking. I'm just gonna see and capture the bigger surface area, so that it will be very easy when it scans and understands which part of the alignment and which part of the side actual the camera is. And I'm going to turn on the turntable. We can do it with the without the like rotating one. You just need to move around, but I'm using the turntable like automatic one, so it's very easy and helpful to do it faster. Yeah. So now here you see in the preview mode, I'm getting a very good capture surface area. So this noise you hear, there is a bar in the left side. If you are too near or far, if you are too far, then it loses tracking, then it says it's in the blue region. We need to be there in the green region, and if you are too closer, it again says we are too near and it shows the red blinking. So once the scanning is done, I would say after one rotation it should be fine. Yeah. So you can also move around if you are trying to capture the beneath area as well, like I'm trying to capture the sole as well here. Okay, that should be good enough. So here you can see it's processing the data. So it will take a little bit of a time. Give it some time, and once it generates the cloud points, we can see what it has been captured. Okay, so once it is done, so you see this is unnecessary data. So what I'll do is quickly go and clean up. So I'm creating a plane, so whatever is there beneath that plane, it will get deleted. So once it is deleted, you will just have the shoe wherein you can see what part you need, and if there is any artifacts, again you can still clean with the lasso tool, and also there are some couple of tools we can just clean it up very quickly. So here I just got the top surface. So now you will be wondering that I got the top surface and how should to do it the other way. So to do the complete scan, what I do is I create another project. So this will be saved as a one project, and I'm going to create one more project, and I'm going to turn, I'm just going to stop this. I'm going to change the orientation of the shoe now. Make sure it stays still. So you have seen we have taken one side of the scan, the shoe, and we're going to scan the other side of the shoe. So I changed the position of it. Then here we go into the create new project. Again same, don't change any of the alignment mode or anything, just keep like how you have kept. So it is recommended to have the same alignment and the feature and the resolution to select for both the as long as you do as many projects as you want. So here, so we created the new project, so I'm going to scan for the other side now. Whenever it makes sound, make the noise, just make sure you come back to the bigger surface area so that it aligns, and then you can change the phase, like the plane from top to the side, and capture that as well. So firstly you have seen I was using the automatic one, so now it's other option. If you don't want to do it, if you think this one is the quicker way, then you can just avoid the automatic turntable and just do it manually like I'm doing it. So the next step would be, like, we have the top surface, the bottom surface, and the next step would be to align it together and make a whole one project. So again same, I'm going to quickly go and create a plane, delete all the extra unnecessary data. Create. So here you see the processing may take a little bit of time, but it is recommended to take the laptop with the recommended configuration. So I'm going to select, delete everything. Yeah, okay. So once you see that you're satisfied with the scan that you have done, next thing you go into the project's alignment. Here is the clean. If you are not happy with the scan that you have done, you can just delete it. Here we are going to the project alignment mode. Then here in the alignment, here you select in the fixed window the project 1, the top one, and the second, the floated one region, you will select the second one. So we have 4 alignment modes here. So one is the automatic. It will do the automatic alignment with the features, and if there is no much enough feature, you can just go and manually select the features. Like, it needs basically 3 points, so you can select this point, and this point to just align it. And there is a markers as well as the marker automatic mode. So we have not put any markers right now, so it should be fine. I'm just going to do it with the feature alignment. So here, automatic feature alignment, I'm going to hit apply. So here you see I did not do anything like manually, I just clicked the automatic and it is good to go now. So once the alignment is done, you can say apply, then just click next and exit. So here you can see your both the projects has been into one, and this is would be your final one. Next step would be we'll just go into the mesh model. So here the mesh model, I'm just going to a little bit talk about the mesh model here. So here we see the unwatertight, semi-watertight and the watertight. So the unwatertight is like if there are any holes, it gonna keep as it is, it not make the whole object as a solid. So this would be really helpful when we are doing the reverse engineering or CAD modeling. The semi watertight is there are some couple of holes here. If you see, there is the like that will go this hole and it should leave as it is and make everything solid. So that is the semi watertight model, and the complete watertight is like is there any hole, it will completely cover it up and make one solid solid body, and this is very good when you're exporting it directly to make a 3D model, like export it directly to the 3D printers and then make a model out of it. And here I'm just going to keep it like unwatertight for now, and then filter none, and I would recommend to keep all the parameters in the mesh optimization as a default one. So now it's going to process. Okay, so once it is processed, just click confirm. It should be fine. If it asks any texture is incorrect, just confirm it, and then yeah, this is the final the scan model which you see. So now it says post processing. So what we can do here, we can either export it and save it here. I'll show you to the local file. It has the both STL file, .obj file, .ply file as well as the .3fm. So you can save it in STL file as well as the object, and if you want to save the whole scan model, the whole project, then just click the .asc as well. Just save wherever you have created the project, so it will save. And there is another option where you can export it directly to the EX model, which has been the Shining 3D reverse engineering model. So the last step, this one has, once you are done all the step, this Shining 3D software is very easy to use. Any new user can use it. It has all the step by step listed on the top. You just need to follow those steps. So the last step here is the measurement. If you want to see what is the measurement, you can just roughly go and do the measurement from select 2 points, 1 point, and it will show that the whole length of this shoe was around 300 mm. So you can scan, you can export these files to either to do 3D printing or reverse engineering model. Thank you for joining me for the Einstar demo. Next up, I'm going to show you the demonstration on the HX model. I'm just finished with setting up with the HX Shining 3D scanner. So again, like how we did for the Einstar, it is the same setup. The laptop, I use the battery. This one is the River 2 Max from the EcoFlow. So we usually use this battery while we are doing most of the scanning projects. So this has the capacity of 512 watt-hour, and it has a very quick charging. It can charge up till 100% in like 60 minutes. Okay, then the HX scanner. So here it's the same, again the calibration process. So I have already done the calibration. Again, it has its own calibration plate. So you just need to move according to the steps that is being provided by the software. You can just move around just like how I did for the Einstar. Then we have the scan modes. So in the HX, we have two scan modes, the rapid mode and the laser mode. So the rapid mode is most recommended for those if you're using or if you're scanning very bigger objects, and you can do it with using the markers or spraying and doing completely like bigger objects, like comparatively. But if you are doing something like this that I am doing today, so I am going to go ahead with doing with the laser mode. Laser mode includes just the alignment mode with the markers, whereas the rapid can do it with the markers, texture, feature as well. So this HX has the class 1 laser. So this is certified by the Shining, and it is very safe for the human eyes. So when you are doing the scanning, you don't need to wear any protective eyewear. So I'm just quickly go into the laser scanning. So laser scanning, why I'm using this one? Laser scanning is also done for higher dimensional accuracy, and also for the objects like those are like shiny as well as the darker objects. So this if something like shiny and darker objects, then the laser plays very important role, and it will also definitely provide a dimensional accuracy. So let's quickly get into the scan mode. So as I'm doing the wheel here today, so I'm just going to quickly go into the laser mode. So once you go into the laser mode, let's quickly create a file. So here in this mode, it just shows the resolution for you. So this can go up till 0.01 resolution in the high detailed. So here today I'm going to again go with the medium detail and then click apply. So you see this is a shiny object. Here I use the markers. It is not recommended to put as many as markers that you see. It has a grid, so every scanners has its own grid. We call it as a field of view. So within that grid you need to have a minimum of 4 markers, so that it will help it while aligning. So and then here you see there are a little bit holes in the center. Here I have used the ASAP sprays. So ASAP spray, based upon your requirement, you can select the one. If you are doing a longer time, like a whole day scan, then use the orange one. If you are doing it for 1 or 2 hours, then we recommend to go ahead with the blue ASAP sprays. So for the wheel, while using both the markers as well as the ASAP sprays, so first what you have to do is do the ASAP spray, just do one glance of the ASAP sprays, and then go ahead with the markers. So every scanner comes with the markers. Just take a Q-tip, just clean the area that you are planning to put the marker, and just keep on sticking them. So again here, again the same. It's pretty same. So if you get into the Shining 3D scanners, all the software is the same and it is pretty similar. So once we go here into the scan mode, so I'm selected directly to scan with the model. So here you can see the scan. So you can see the laser lines, the blue laser lines. It also has an option. If it is too reflective, then you can check that mark, and if it is too black, then you can also check that mark. But here the lighting is normal, and the wheel is also pretty good. So I'm just keeping it in the normal object mode. Okay, so I had kept these markers beside it, so it got confused, and it is like changing the position. I'm just gonna delete it quickly and then start scanning. So you can see how fast it is capturing. So you can change the plane, you can come outside as well. So once I scan this one, like how I did for the previous one for the shoe, I'm going to do the inside part as well and then do the alignment. So once I have done on the top side scanning, then I just rotated the wheel and then scan the inside part as well. So again, I have the two project files, so I'm going to align them. So here you can see this is the bottom part, and here the project is the top part. So once we go into the alignment mode, so you can see both the alignment. Again here I'm not gonna do much. Already there are markers. I'm just gonna go ahead with the align with the marker and apply. So you can see the alignment has been done and it is pretty good. So we can just go next and exit. So over here we have both the files together, and here later after the scan, again we need to send it to mesh generation. Again the same of if you want to do it watertight, unwatertight, based upon your application and needs, you just need to send it and save the STL file or .obj file and save whole scan as well based upon your need. And that concludes my demo for the HX scanner. Up next is Cha, who gonna present the use case for you guys.
Hey guys, my name is Cha. Welcome to Shop 3D. I work in the technical service department. Recently I want to talk about a project we did with a machine shop owner who wanted to take a scan of one of their parts so that they can reverse engineer it and have it in their digital portfolio. The part I have loaded right now is the rapid scan. We did a couple of different iterations to see which one would give us the best result. Overall, with the rapid scan, the model that I have open here, what you're going to see is that this was done relatively quickly, but we needed a couple of other additions. We have to prep the part in order to scan. Part of prepping the part is using a sub spray and putting the targets. After we spray the part, we got to put the targets on. It's a little difficult with a part like this, we found, because there is a bottom side, and because it's such a heavy part, manipulating it in different orientations was kind of difficult. But here's what we got with the rapid scan. What you will see is four different scans of different orientations overlapped on each other and sort of aligned in the software. Okay, and what you're going to see is with rapid or structure light scanning, it's very difficult for it to pick up the edges. Yeah, so the hard edges are not clearly defined. And I'm going to show you what that looks like in the final mesh. Okay. So one thing for reverse engineering models, we don't want it watertight because we don't want the information to be filled in by an algorithm. We want clean data that is captured with the scanner itself. So this is very important. The next thing what I'll do is clean a little bit of the mesh up. Over here it'll say remove small floating parts. I'm going to put it to 60%. I'm going to issue a maximum triangle, which is 5 million. So we're going to use 5 million triangles to create the mesh data. And this will give us a general sense of what this part will look like. And here's the mesh data here. And in this mesh, you're going to see a couple odd anomalies. These are sort of artifacts, and what they are from is cloud points that are jutting out around the edges. And this is very telling that the scan was done with a structure light. In a moment, I'm going to show you what it looks like with the with the laser scanner. Okay. So I'm going to open up the laser scanner here. So what you're going to see is I have loaded the laser scan that we have taken for the customer, and this is the scan model that we provided. This will be the mesh data that we'll provide the customer, who was very satisfied. And the reason why that is because you're going to notice that on the Einscan HX, the hard edges will come out very defined in the scan data, the cloud point data. And that is because the laser has a higher resolution than the structure light scanner. Again, you're going to see on here are tracking markers. So one of the benefits of using a laser is that one, repeating myself, the hard edges are clearly defined due to the higher resolution that the laser is able to capture at. The second part is that because you're using a laser, the surface demand is a lot more forgiving with a laser scanner. And what I mean by that is you can have dark surfaces or like shiny surfaces, and as long as you have tracking targets, the laser should be able to pick it up. To sum it up for you guys on why I choose the Einscan HX for this job specifically was that the customer is using metal as the part that I'm trying to scan. The detail is a very high value for the customer on this. They wanted something that's high in resolution. And the last thing for me is just the ease of prepping the model for scanning. So I didn't have to spray it. I just had to make sure that the targets are placed on here in strategic positions on the opposite end, so I can align the different perspectives once I completed the scan to align the entire model. What you're going to see is like the hard edges with the high resolution just looks much cleaner, and you know, the ease of prepping it, like I said, and so that is why I like using the Einscan HX. So up next, Pooja is going to talk to you guys about best practices while scanning. Take it away, Pooja.
Hi again. So I'm going to talk about more on the best practices on Shining 3D scanners, but in general. So let's get into it. First step is installing. So as you could see when I was doing the demo, we have the cables. So make sure that you are connected properly with the data cable as well as the adapter. Next, make sure on the scanners there are no imprints on it. Make sure you wipe it up clean, and there should be no hand imprints on it. So once you set up, we'll go to the laptop. Make sure you have the latest version of the Shining 3D software for the particular scanner that you are using. Once you have the software installed, opened, then you can jump into the calibration. So calibration is very important process. So we recommend to do it every twice a month, but if you want to get the more precise, more details, you can do it for every project, but it should be fine for more than 10 projects. But if you want it like if you are very specific and particular, then you are free to do as more calibrations as you want. Later, after the setup, then we have the the model setup. So you need to see which model you are doing. So based upon that, whether it is very small, very larger, based upon that you need to have the additional markers, these ASAP scanning sprays. So for example, if you are having a very small part, then you may need a turntable, either the automatic one or you can just rotate it with your hands. And if it is very flat surface or very thin, then we use usually these kind of holders with the markers. So if you are doing very flat and the scanner need to change the plane from the top to the side, so these when they are on the top and you are doing from the bottom scanning, then it will scan as a marker and it will help to scan the flat surfaces. So if you are doing something like a very shiny surfaces, then you need to use the markers on the body, or you can use as a global as a base. So the global is like just you can put anything kind of a sheet on that, you just need to put the markers. And if it is too bright and translucent and shiny, then we use the ASAP sprays. So ASAP sprays, we have a wide range of sprays. So based upon your requirement, if you're doing a very quick scan, if it is like take around like 5 to 10 minutes and you don't need for longer time to keep it to keep it sublimated, so we recommend the blue one. The blue one is the one which is for the lesser duration. It can sublimate for around 4 hours to 8 hours, and it can be there for around like mostly 4 hours. So technically they say it's 4 to 8 hours, but you can see it will keep sublimated. And then next one is the orange one. So this one will have the duration of 24 to 48 hours. So this is the orange one. And the white one, the one which we have, is a non-volatile, or we can say it's a permanent one. So this will stay as long as it's a kind of permanent, so it will live there unless and until you have to go and take a cloth and wipe it out. So these are the ASAP sprays that we use on the regular basis for the scanning. And this, what does this one do is like it leaves a chalky matte finish once you spray. So it's recommended to spray like a one glance, not to do too many glance on the surface, because each spray will leave up till like 8 microns of thickness. So if you don't want to overdo this spraying. Okay. After installing, the second step is the operating. Like again what I mentioned, using either the tripod or using the turntable, or if you are planning to move around, if it is bigger object, then you need to move around the body or the object. So that would come into the operating. And then we have the lastly is the post processing. So once you are done with the scanning, so you will have the files, the STL, the .obj files. Those can be exported based upon your application, either you want to 3D print or reverse engineer. So if you want to do it reverse engineering, then keep it in like unwatertight and export it the STL files and open it up in any CAD softwares like Fusion, SolidWorks. It should work. Lastly, even the Shining 3D has the reverse engineering model now available for both Einstar as well as the HX. It's called as EX model. So you can directly export that from the software, directly from the Shining software to the EX model. And make sure to maintain the calibration plate, and once the process is done, make sure you keep all the scanner, the calibration plate as well as the cable and adapter in place in the box which has been provided, so that it is safe and every time you do it, it should be quick and easier for you. Thank you for joining me for the best practices. I hope you learned a lot of things from it. Next up, Michael will be joining me for the FAQs. Hi Michael, welcome back. So let's get into the FAQs now.
All right, we'll start off with a pretty common one. How do I know what scanner is best for me?
So it really depends upon the application that you have. So we have the wide range of scanners lined up for the Shining 3D. So as like I mentioned, depending upon the application that you have, so we have the entry-level scanners, which is only for the hobbyistic. If you're doing something like human bus scanning or human scanning, just you want to give a present to your friend, something like that. And if you have a very small one, scan model that you want to scan, then we have the desktop scanners. And if you want to go into a little bit higher dimensional accuracy, then we have the laser scanners, which are mainly for the automotive or the R&D department, who are mainly looking for the higher accuracy, as well as the more accurate, and also when it comes to the speed capturing those models. So it really depends upon the specific application. Okay. So following to that, do this software with the Shining 3D scanners is included with it?
Yeah, so all of these Shining 3D scanners come with the scanning software included. That can be downloaded directly from Shining 3D's website. The only case where you need to pay additional fees is if you want additional features, namely reverse engineering.
Okay.
Yeah. So we talked earlier about how the Einstar is great for scanning people, but and how it is eye safe. But what kind of guarantees do they make about eye safety?
Yeah. So the Einstar comes with the structured light. It's basically certified as a class 1 laser from the Shining 3D, and it is very safe for the human eyes. That's why it is mostly recommended for the human scanning as well. Yeah. Following to the question, I lined up the ranges for this Shining 3D scanners. So we often get the question of like, what do we get with the increasing price in the scanner?
Yeah. So as you go up in the price range for the scanners, the main things that get better are the accuracy, the speed, and then the detail. So starting off with the detail, especially with the laser scanners, you'll be able to scan more difficult geometry and be able to scan darker and reflective surfaces better. What I mean by more difficult geometry is shapes that have holes or like deep crevices are much more easily scanned and will turn out much better if you're using the higher end lasers. In terms of accuracy, of course, you kind of get what you pay for. As you go up in that price range, the scanners get more and more accurate. With the meteorological grade scanners, the top of the line, giving you accuracy of up to 0.02 millimeters. And lastly, for speed, these scanners do get more powerful as you go up in the price range, so they're able to scan more of an object and scan it faster compared to the entry-level ones.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
So what kind of scan data formats can we export it? And then how would you take that data if we want to export it if we want to do reverse engineering afterwards?
Like I already talked this part while doing the demo. So once you're done with the scanning, this Shining 3D software allows us to export in the various file formats like STL, .obg, 3FM, something and more. So you can export them directly to the STL files and save it for 3D printing, or you can just directly export it to the reverse engineering software which is provided by the Shining 3D, which is called an EX model. Yeah. Okay. So based upon this, we have seen there is a recommended computer configurations for the scanner that we basically need to get started with the scanning. So do you have any recommendations for that?
Yep. So you will want a relatively powerful PC, especially for the lower end models. The higher end models actually do more of the processing on the scanner itself and offloads it less to the computer. But the lower end scanners, like the Einstar here, will have the computer do most of the processing. So in cases like that, most powerful gaming laptops would be fine. But to get more specific, you'll want a computer with at least a recent Intel Core i7, so 11800H or above. You also want to have at least 32 gigabytes of RAM. For graphics cards, you will need an NVIDIA GPU, 1060 or higher, with at least 6 gigabytes of VRAM. And in terms of operating system, currently Windows is the only supported system, but there is a beta out for Mac for the Einstar, so that should be coming soon.
Okay.
And then, what kind of training does Shop 3D provide? Like, say, if I'm a novice to 3D scanning.
So if you are very pretty new, so we initially we provide the demo for, it's a quick demo like around 15 to half an hour. So you can come around, or we can do it online for you guys, quickly show you what the scanner can do for your specific application. And after buying, if you're still having an issues with the scanning, how to do it, what are the best practices, how to get your specific scanning for your specific project, then we additionally do the training as well on these criterias with an additional cost as well.
Yeah. And I guess lastly, what kind of warranty is provided with the scanners?
Yeah, so we do have the same warranty that is being provided with the Shining 3D, that is 1-year warranty, but make sure that if there is any cosmetic defects like any dents or anything, it would not be replaced. So you make sure that you go through the warranty rules and the terms and conditions, and also if there is any, it doesn't detect or something like that, then the replacement may happen. So you make sure that you go through the terms and conditions.
So that's all of our questions. Next, we'll hand it off to Ken, who has an exclusive incentive.
So by now, I think Cha, Pooja, and Michael have taught you a lot about these 3D scanners. But if you're interested in another scanner that's not in this lineup, make sure you contact us either online or visit us at the store and find out the whole lineup of Shining 3D scanners available to you. Each of those scanners have a specific application that they are perfect for, and if this is something that you want to talk to us about in depth, join us for a deep dive here at the store, and we can go through your application and find out what's best for your purpose. Now, if you have joined us up to this point, we want to thank you by offering you an incentive. We have $100 off the Einstar that you can get just with the coupon code below. Enter that for checkout, and this is valid until August 31st. So make sure you jump on this fantastic deal. Again, I want to thank you for joining us on this webinar, and if you need any help, the shop3d.ca team would be happy to help you out. My name is Ken, and thanks for joining us.